In the story, there was a man named Ding Qianxi from Zhejiang. His family was wealthy in both money and grain, and he had a strong sense of justice, generosity, and a desire to help the less fortunate. He greatly admired the virtues of ancient heroes like Guo Ji. When officials from the imperial censorate learned about this, they wanted to meet him. However, Ding Qianxi fled. He arrived at Anqiu and encountered heavy rain, so he sought shelter in an inn. The rain persisted until noon, and finding himself still trapped, he decided to stay the night. At nightfall, a young man came over and treated him to a sumptuous meal. The rain continued to pour, so Ding Qianxi had no choice but to spend the night at the young man's home. The young man not only took care of his meals and accommodations, but also tended to his horse with great care. When Ding Qianxi asked for the young man's name, he replied, "I am surnamed Yang, the nephew of the master of the house. The master enjoys socializing and has just gone out. Only his wife is at home. Our family is poor and unable to offer you better hospitality. Please forgive us." Ding Qianxi also inquired about the master's occupation and learned that Yang had no assets and relied on running a gambling house to support his family. The following day, the continuous overcast and rainy weather persisted, yet the meals provided by the master were still warm and generous, without any neglect. In the evening, while cutting grass to feed the horse, Ding Qianxi noticed that the fodder was uneven in length and alternated between wet and dry. Puzzled, he asked the young man about it. The young man said, "To be honest, our family is so poor that we don't even have grass to feed the horse. What I've given you is thatched straw I took down from the roof." Ding Qianxi was increasingly surprised and thought that the master might be using this as a way to ask for money. When morning came and the rain had stopped, he packed his belongings and took out some silver to give to the young man. However, the young man refused to accept it. Ding Qianxi insisted and handed it to him. The young man had no choice but to take the silver and went inside to consult his wife. He returned shortly after, returning the silver to Ding Qianxi and saying, "My wife said, we don't rely on this to make a living. The master often goes days without bringing back a single coin. How can we ask you for payment as a guest?" Touched by this, Ding Qianxi praised and admired the woman's character. Before leaving, he repeatedly instructed, "I am Ding Qianxi from Zhejiang. Please tell your master that when he has the time, he is welcome to visit my home." Years passed without any news from Ding Qianxi. In that year, famine struck, and the Yang family became extremely impoverished. With no other option, Yang's wife advised him to seek help from Ding Qianxi. Yang agreed. Upon arriving in Zhejiang and finding Ding Qianxi's home, he asked the gatekeeper to announce his name. However, Ding Qianxi could not recall who Yang was. Yang then recounted the events from the past, and upon hearing this, Ding Qianxi hurriedly put on his shoes and ran out to welcome him. Seeing Yang in tattered clothes with his heels exposed, Ding Qianxi invited Yang into a warm room, where he hosted a lavish banquet with great ceremony. The next day, Ding Qianxi even provided Yang with new clothes, hats, shoes, and socks. Yang felt rejuvenated by his new appearance, and was deeply moved by Ding Qianxi's loyalty and friendship. Yet, with worries about his family back home facing scarcity, Yang couldn't help but share his concerns with Ding Qianxi. "After careful consideration, I can't hide this from you any longer. When I left, there wasn't even a bucket of rice at home. Now, after experiencing your warm hospitality, I'm certainly delighted, but how is my wife managing?" Ding Qianxi chuckled and said, "You don't need to worry about these matters. I've already taken care of everything for you. Please stay a few more days and let me provide you with some travel expenses." Ding Qianxi then gathered the gamblers and had Yang extract a portion of their winnings, allowing Yang to gain 100 taels of silver overnight. Only then did Ding Qianxi send Yang back home. Upon returning home and opening the door, Yang was greeted by his family, all dressed in new clothes. By his wife's side was a maid in attendance. Yang was astonished and asked his wife about this. She replied, "The day after you left, someone came with a horse-drawn cart loaded with cloth and grain. The entire room was filled with supplies. They said it was a gift from guest Ding. They even brought a maid for me." Overwhelmed with emotion, Yang told the tale. From that day on, the Yang family enjoyed a comfortable life, and they no longer needed to rely on running a gambling house to make ends meet.
Alright, this story has come to an end. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you.